5 hidden quantum spiritual laws that govern your money. There exists a set of laws, ancient, invisible, and absolute, that govern not only the movements of the universe, but the flow of money itself. Most people think wealth is created through effort, education, or opportunity. But those are merely the visible results of something far greater. Behind every financial manifestation lies a hidden structure, a quantum and spiritual blueprint that determines the degree of abundance one allows into their life. Earl Nightingale called it the strange secret, while Bob Proctor revealed it as the vibration of prosperity. They were both pointing to the same truth. There are unseen laws, eternal and unbreakable, that respond not to what you want, but to what you are. The first of these laws is the law of mental equivalence, the understanding that the outer world is nothing but a mirror of the inner. In the quantum field, every possibility already exists, but you only experience the version of reality that corresponds to the frequency of your dominant thoughts and emotions. Money, therefore, is not a product of chance or circumstance. It is the natural reflection of the ideas you hold about yourself. If you see yourself as capable, deserving, and abundant, life must rearrange itself to reflect that identity. Nightingale said, "We become what we think about." Proctor expanded on that. Your thoughts control your vibration, and your vibration controls what you attract. Imagine 2 individuals with identical skills and opportunities. One thrives financially, the other struggles endlessly. The difference lies not in ability but in vibration. The one who prospers has an inner image, a mental equivalent of wealth, freedom, and purpose. The one who struggles holds a subconscious picture of limitation, lack, or unworthiness. Both are living the law perfectly. The universe does not choose sides. It simply matches frequency. When you change your inner picture, the outer reality must obey. The second law is the law of resonance, which governs the relationship between your vibration and the energetic field of money. Everything in existence vibrates, including the energy we call money. Most people think money is neutral, lifeless paper or digits on a screen. But energetically, it is alive, a condensed form of value. The reason money seems to avoid some people is that their vibration repels it. They feel guilt, fear, or resistance around wealth. In contrast, those who love, respect, and appreciate money resonate harmoniously with its frequency. To apply this law, you must feel rich before the evidence appears. You must become the vibrational match of abundance, not by pretending, but by genuinely shifting your inner state. Every time you express gratitude for what you have, you raise your frequency. Every time you act generously, you reinforce the vibration of overflow. Every thought of scarcity lowers your energy, while every emotion of appreciation opens the channel wider. Proctor once said, "If you want to change your financial results, you must first change your vibration." The third is the law of belief transmutation. This law reveals that your subconscious beliefs act as filters, deciding how much wealth you can hold, receive, or even notice. The quantum field is infinite, yet you experience only what your subconscious mind allows. Many inherit limiting paradigms from family, culture, or religion, unconscious programs that equate money with greed, guilt, or struggle. As long as these beliefs remain unexamined, they create invisible ceilings that block abundance. To transmute them, you must become conscious of your inner dialogue. Pay attention to the emotions that arise when you think about wealth. Do you feel tension, fear, or unworthiness? That is a signal of a belief in conflict with abundance. The process of transformation begins by replacing those ideas with new affirmations rooted in truth. Money is good. I am worthy of prosperity. Abundance serves all. As these new beliefs settle into the subconscious, the energetic walls crumble and money begins to flow effortlessly. Nightingale said, "Our environment, the world in which we live and work, is a mirror of our attitudes and expectations." The fourth law is the law of quantum intention. At the quantum level, consciousness creates reality through observation. When you focus your attention on a specific outcome with faith and emotional conviction, you collapse infinite probabilities into one experience, the one aligned with your intention. This is not imagination. It is science and spirit intertwined. Every great inventor, artist, and entrepreneur has used this law, whether knowingly or intuitively. They held a clear mental image, infused it with emotion, and acted as if it were already done. Money responds to the same principle. You must define your financial goal with precision, visualize it vividly, and most importantly, feel it as already real. Proctor often said, "If you can hold it in your head, you can hold it in your hand." The secret lies not in mere wishing, but in unwavering faith. When you align your thoughts, emotions, and actions with the certainty of your desire, the universe rearranges itself to match that vibration. Opportunities emerge, ideas flow, and synchronicities unfold, guiding you toward the physical realization of what was once only a thought. The fifth and most profound of these is the law of spiritual reciprocity. This law reveals that giving and receiving are two sides of the same energetic current. You cannot attract wealth if you fear releasing it. Energy must circulate. When you give joyfully, you affirm abundance. When you cling tightly, you affirm lack. The universe mirrors your state. Generosity multiplies wealth, while fear constricts it. Earl Nightingale said, "The amount of money you receive will always be in direct ratio to the need for what you do, your ability to do it, and the difficulty of replacing you." Bob Proctor added another layer. The more you give, the more you get. It's a universal law. But giving extends beyond money. It includes giving your energy, attention, and value to the world. Every act of service, every moment of kindness, every creation that uplifts others expands your frequency. The universe responds in kind, delivering opportunities, resources, and relationships that match your vibration of contribution. The greatest fortunes are built by those who give the most in spirit, not out of obligation, but out of joy. Now, when you weave all 5 laws together, something extraordinary happens. Your life begins to harmonize with the universal flow of abundance. You realize that wealth is not something you pursue. It is something you align with. Your vibration, your beliefs, and your emotions become instruments through which the quantum field plays the symphony of prosperity. The old struggle fades. Effort turns into effortless flow. Earl Nightingale taught that success is not a matter of luck, but of law. That we live in a world governed by invisible principles as exact as gravity. Bob Proctor brought this truth into the modern age, showing that these laws are not mystical fantasies, but energetic realities that anyone can harness. Together, their teachings reveal the bridge between mind, spirit, and wealth. The ancient sages understood this long before modern science confirmed it. They knew that energy responds to consciousness, that the unseen governs the seen. What you think, you feel. What you feel, you vibrate. What you vibrate, you attract. This is the eternal rhythm of creation, the pulse of the universe itself. To master your money, you must first master your vibration. To expand your wealth, you must expand your consciousness. Each of these 5 quantum spiritual laws is not something external to you. They are reflections of your own divine nature. You are not a mere observer of the law. You are the law expressing itself through human form. And when you live from that awareness, money ceases to be a problem or a pursuit. It becomes a natural extension of who you are, a byproduct of alignment. You don't chase wealth. You radiate it. You don't demand abundance. You allow it. You don't seek proof. You become proof. Now, take a deep breath and feel the truth of this in your heart. The universe is abundant, and so are you. The quantum field responds not to words, but to vibration. And your vibration, in this very moment, is shaping the flow of money in your life. The question is not whether the laws work. They always do. The only question is whether you are working in harmony with them. Let this be your awakening, your return to the understanding that you are both the observer and the creator, both the cause and the effect. The power to transform your financial reality is not in the world. It is in your consciousness. Align your thoughts, uplift your vibration, trust the invisible laws, and abundance will become your natural state. If this message resonated with you, take a moment to like this video. It helps this wisdom reach more people who are ready to awaken to their true wealth. Once you begin to understand these 5 hidden quantum spiritual laws, a subtle yet powerful shift begins to take place within you. It is not a change in circumstance that first occurs. It is a change in awareness. You start to perceive reality differently. What once looked random begins to reveal order. What once felt like resistance begins to show its purpose. You begin to see that every event, every opportunity, every delay, and every gain is part of a precise energetic calibration happening within your field of consciousness. The universe is not punishing or rewarding you. It is responding to you. The flow of money is not moral. It is mathematical. It follows frequency. And the higher your frequency, the more effortlessly wealth flows into your life. This understanding liberates you from the endless pursuit of external control. You stop trying to force outcomes and start aligning your vibration. You move from doing to being. Earl Nightingale often said that the key to success is understanding the law of cause and effect. Every thought, every emotion, every belief is a cause, and every result you experience is the effect. In the physical world, money is one of the clearest mirrors of this universal truth. If you wish to change the effect, you must alter the cause. That means shifting your inner state. Bob Proctor took this principle further by teaching that the subconscious mind is the bridge between the spiritual and physical planes. It is the channel through which vibration becomes form. The subconscious does not create ideas. It receives them from the conscious mind. It accepts whatever images are repeatedly impressed upon it, whether positive or negative, and sets the entire body into a matching vibration. From that vibration, it attracts the corresponding conditions, people, and circumstances that form your financial reality. That is why the law never fails. It is always working. The only question is, are you working with it consciously or unconsciously? Most people live by default, reacting to the world around them, unaware that their reactions are reinforcing the very vibrations that create more of the same. They see a lack of money and feel fear. That fear lowers their vibration, which repels abundance further. They enter a feedback loop of scarcity, not because the universe is cruel, but because the law is exact. The universe simply says yes to the vibration you hold. But those who awaken to this truth begin to operate differently. They become intentional creators rather than emotional reactors. They learn to hold a vibration of abundance even when outer conditions seem unchanged. This is the great test and the great secret: to feel rich before the riches appear, to believe before the evidence. When you maintain that inner certainty, the quantum field begins to reorganize itself around you. Money, opportunities, and ideas start showing up in unexpected ways. Sometimes subtly, sometimes dramatically, but always with precision. The first internal shift you must make is to detach money from emotion. Most people attach fear, guilt, or anxiety to the topic of money. These emotions distort vibration and block flow. Instead, view money as energy, a neutral medium of exchange that amplifies who you already are. The more aligned you are spiritually, the more benevolent and abundant your relationship with money becomes. In truth, money is an amplifier of consciousness. If you are generous, money enhances your ability to give. If you are fearful, it amplifies that fear. That's why aligning with higher spiritual principles is not optional. It's essential. Earl Nightingale spoke about the power of purpose, explaining that money naturally follows value. He said, "Success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. When you devote your life to a purpose greater than yourself, the universe ensures that the flow of resources matches the magnitude of that purpose." Bob Proctor would call this being in harmony with your higher self. The quantum law ensures that energy devoted to expansion always attracts abundance in return. Let us look deeper at how these 5 laws work together dynamically in everyday life. The law of mental equivalence shapes the framework. It determines what kind of reality you believe you can have. This is your inner architecture, your self-image. If your self-image is limited, your financial reality cannot expand beyond it. To grow wealth, you must grow identity. You must start seeing yourself as the kind of person who easily attracts money, who manages it wisely, and who uses it purposefully. Visualization is the most direct way to reprogram this mental equivalent. Each morning, close your eyes and imagine your life as if abundance already surrounds you. Feel the freedom of paying bills with joy, of giving without fear, of receiving with gratitude. Feel the emotional tone of that reality until it becomes familiar. The subconscious mind translates familiarity as truth, and once it believes, the law takes over. Next, the law of resonance ensures that the vibration you hold magnetizes matching frequencies. Gratitude, joy, generosity. These are high-frequency states that align perfectly with wealth. Doubt, worry, and resentment vibrate too low to attract prosperity. The more consistently you remain in high emotional states, the faster you shift your financial experience. You may ask, how can I stay in a high vibration when circumstances are difficult? The answer is mastery. You develop spiritual discipline. Just as a musician practices scales until harmony becomes effortless, you practice gratitude until joy becomes natural. You train your mind to find what's working, to focus on progress, to celebrate even small signs of growth. That is how you maintain resonance, by choosing perspective over reaction. Then comes the law of belief transmutation, which governs the transformation of subconscious paradigms. Every financial block in your life is simply an outdated belief running beneath awareness. When you observe these beliefs without judgment, they lose power. Awareness dissolves resistance. Affirmations and repetition rewire the pattern. It takes consistency, but once a belief is replaced with a higher truth, it never returns with the same strength. The law of quantum intention is what gives focus and direction to your creative power. The universe responds to clarity. When your intention is clear and emotionally charged, the field begins rearranging matter accordingly. The reason many people fail to manifest wealth is not because the law doesn't work. It's because their intention is divided. They desire abundance, but simultaneously fear loss. They want prosperity, but believe deep down they don't deserve it. Such conflicting frequencies cancel each other out. To harness this law fully, you must become single-minded. You must choose your intention and hold it unwaveringly. That is faith, the ability to sustain vision regardless of appearances. And finally, the law of spiritual reciprocity keeps energy circulating. Giving is the proof of belief. Every time you give with joy, whether it's time, attention, service, or money, you demonstrate faith in infinite supply. The universe reads that vibration and responds in kind. The more freely energy flows through you, the more freely it flows back. The ancient mystics understood this principle perfectly. They taught that the hand that gives is never empty. When you give from the heart, you become a channel through which the universe expresses generosity. And because nature abhors a vacuum, what you release must be replenished, often multiplied. As you integrate these laws, you begin to notice something profound. Your relationship with money transforms from anxiety to appreciation, from control to cooperation. Money no longer feels like a master you chase, but a companion that flows where it is respected and loved. This shift is not merely philosophical, it is physiological. Your nervous system relaxes, your creative faculties expand, and intuition sharpens. In a state of peace, you become receptive to divine guidance. Ideas for wealth begin to surface effortlessly. You start seeing opportunities that were invisible before, because your vibration has elevated to the frequency where they exist. Nightingale once said that people often look for answers out there when all transformation begins within. Everything begins with an idea, he said. And Proctor echoed, the only limits in your life are the limits you place in your mind. The hidden laws operate through you, not around you. To live in harmony with these laws is to return to your natural state of flow. Money flows, ideas flow, creativity flows. You stop chasing and start attracting. You stop begging and start commanding, not from ego, but from alignment. You realize that wealth is not achieved. It is revealed through consciousness. Pause for a moment and reflect. Every thought you entertain today is either increasing or decreasing your financial frequency. Each emotion you hold is sending out a signal to the quantum field. Each belief you reinforce is shaping your energetic capacity to receive. The smallest shift in consciousness today can alter the trajectory of your entire life tomorrow. So begin now. Decide to think thoughts of abundance. Choose gratitude over worry. See money as a friend. Speak the language of wealth, appreciation, contribution, expansion. You are already operating within the field. Now it's time to operate consciously. The laws are not new. They are eternal. What's new is your awareness of them. As you practice alignment daily, the gap between desire and manifestation closes. What once took years begins to unfold in months, even weeks. Synchronicity becomes normal. Flow becomes your new standard. You were never meant to live in struggle. You were designed to live in creative freedom. The same intelligence that spins galaxies and orchestrates seasons dwells within you, guiding your vibration, responding to your intention, and expanding your capacity to receive. Remember, the law never sleeps. It is always responding, always creating, always reflecting. The only question that remains is whether you are sending signals of abundance or scarcity, faith or fear. Choose consciously, align deliberately, and watch how the invisible laws that govern your money begin to reveal their astonishing precision. When you begin to live in conscious alignment with the 5 hidden quantum spiritual laws, something extraordinary happens. Not only does your financial reality begin to change, but the very quality of your consciousness evolves. You start to sense the invisible fabric that connects all things. The boundaries between you and money, between effort and flow, begin to dissolve. You realize that you were never separate from abundance. You were simply unaware of your union with it. Earl Nightingale once said that success is the realization of a worthy ideal, and this realization begins internally, in the realm of mind and spirit. Bob Proctor used to explain that the subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's imagined. It only responds to vibration. When you combine thought, feeling, and belief into one coherent frequency, you enter a state of quantum coherence, the condition where reality begins to rearrange itself to match your new pattern. This is where transformation accelerates. At first, it may feel subtle. Small changes begin to appear. A new opportunity, a phone call, a sudden burst of inspiration. But these are not coincidences. They are confirmations. The quantum field is responding to your new vibration. Every act of faith becomes a cause, and every event you experience becomes its perfect effect. Many people misunderstand the law of attraction because they try to use it as a tool rather than recognizing it as a principle. It's not something you do. It's something you are always doing. The universe is not responding to your wishes, but to your state of being. You cannot simply want abundance. You must become abundant in thought, word, and feeling. When your inner frequency aligns with the vibration of wealth, the quantum field must obey. It is not personal. It is mathematical. The law operates with precision and impartiality. If you vibrate lack, you attract lack. If you vibrate abundance, you attract abundance. That is why understanding vibration is more powerful than any external strategy or effort. The law of mental equivalence reveals that your outer world is a reflection of your inner one. The moment you raise your internal standards, your self-image, your emotional tone, your level of expectation, your external world must shift to reflect it. It's not magic, it's law. Nightingale called this the strangest secret, because so few people grasp that their thoughts are creative forces. They believe life happened to them, not through them. The law of resonance amplifies this by making emotion the magnet. The stronger and more consistent your emotional state, the faster reality conforms to it. Gratitude is the most powerful amplifier of all because it fuses high frequency with surrender. When you are grateful, you are acknowledging abundance even before it appears, and that acknowledgement draws more of it toward you. The law of belief transmutation is the alchemy of the mind. It's where you turn the lead of limitation into the gold of liberation. Every time you challenge an old belief, such as, I have to struggle for money or wealth isn't spiritual, and replace it with a higher truth, you rewrite the subconscious script that governs your life. You literally rewire the neural patterns in your brain and the energetic frequencies in your field. Bob Proctor often said that paradigms, those deeply ingrained belief systems, are what control almost every aspect of our behavior. You may consciously want abundance, but if your paradigm is still anchored in scarcity, you will unconsciously sabotage every opportunity that could lead you to prosperity. The only way to break this loop is through awareness, repetition, and emotional conviction. Next, the law of quantum intention reminds you that thought infused with emotion becomes causation. This is why idle wishing produces nothing but focused, emotionally charged intention moves mountains. The universe does not respond to weak, scattered desires. It responds to conviction, to a mind so sure, so unwavering, that the outcome becomes inevitable. When you visualize your desired wealth, do it as if it is already done. Feel the freedom, the security, the gratitude of already having it. Let the emotion become so real that your body vibrates with the energy of completion. That's when the subconscious accepts the vision as truth, and the quantum field begins to collapse into that version of reality. Finally, the law of spiritual reciprocity completes the circle by ensuring that energy remains in motion. Giving and receiving are not opposites. They are the same current flowing in two directions. When you give freely, you create a vacuum that must be filled. This law is often misunderstood because people give from fear or obligation. True giving, the kind that activates the quantum flow, comes from joy, not guilt. It says to the universe, I trust there is more where that came from. And the universe always proves that trust correct. Once you truly grasp these laws, money stops being the focus. Consciousness becomes the focus, and money becomes the natural result. You stop chasing wealth and begin embodying wealth. You stop searching for abundance and start expressing it. This realization marks a spiritual awakening. You begin to see that the same force that governs stars and seasons is the same force that governs your financial flow. It is not luck, chance, or coincidence. It is universal law. The ancient mystics and the modern scientists speak the same truth in different languages. Energy follows thought, and thought follows belief. When you align belief, thought, and emotion with clarity, the universe cannot resist you because you are no longer separate from it. You become a conscious extension of its creative intelligence. That is the highest form of wealth consciousness. To know yourself as one with the source from which all abundance flows. At this level, Work ceases to feel like labor and begins to feel like play. You create, serve, and contribute from inspiration rather than desperation. You follow inner guidance, and everything unfolds with ease. Opportunities seem to find you, but in truth, you are magnetizing them through resonance. As Earl Nightingale said, "We are all self-made, but only the successful will admit it." Once you take ownership of your vibration, you take ownership of your reality. And that is the ultimate freedom, to know that you are never a victim of circumstance, but always the creator of it. Now, let us explore a deeper implication of these laws, the relationship between service and wealth. Bob Proctor often explained that money is the shadow of service. The more people you serve and the greater the value you provide, the larger the shadow, the greater the wealth. But true service begins with alignment. When you serve from joy and authenticity, you radiate the frequency of abundance, and people feel it. The universe rewards that energy because it benefits the whole. The quantum field is not biased. It amplifies what benefits the collective. When your wealth contributes to others, your frequency aligns with the universal current of expansion. That is why generosity and prosperity are inseparable. Every act of service expands your energetic field, creating a ripple effect that the law mirrors back as financial flow. If you ever doubt this, look to nature. The ocean never worries about running out of water. The sun never fears depletion of light. They give continuously because giving is their essence, and therefore, their supply is infinite. You too are an expression of that same infinite source. When you give freely, you affirm that essence. Now, imagine living every day in full alignment with these laws. You wake up each morning not asking, "How can I get more?" but "How can I align more?" Your vibration becomes your primary currency. You monitor your thoughts the way a jeweler handles diamonds, with care and precision. You choose gratitude over judgment, faith over fear, contribution over complaint. Gradually, your external world mirrors your internal transformation. Unexpected income flows in. New opportunities appear effortlessly. People are drawn to your energy, sensing something radiant and magnetic. You are no longer chasing money. Money is chasing you. That is not arrogance. It is law. Energy seeks its match, and you have become that match. When you reach this point, your relationship with money becomes sacred. You begin to see wealth as a tool for spiritual evolution, a means to expand your capacity for creation, generosity, and impact. You no longer feel guilt for desiring abundance because you understand that abundance allows you to serve more fully. The more you receive, the more you can give. The more you give, the more the universe expands through you. Earl Nightingale would call this the circle of success. Bob Proctor would describe it as raising your frequency to the level of your desires. They both meant the same thing: to live in harmony with the unseen laws that govern all prosperity. And so, as this understanding deepens, you find peace in the process. You no longer rush outcomes because you know the law is exact. You no longer question timing because you trust divine order. You know that what you seek is seeking you, and that the only task left is to maintain alignment until it appears. That is mastery. That is freedom. You are not learning how to attract money. You are remembering how to align with what you already are, a divine expression of infinite abundance. Take this realization into your heart and let it expand. Feel it as truth, not theory. For when you feel it deeply enough, it becomes your living reality. If you're beginning to experience insights or shifts in your perception while listening to this, share your thoughts in the comments. Your reflection helps others awaken to their own potential, and together, we expand the vibration of abundance across the planet. As you continue to awaken to the hidden quantum spiritual laws that govern your wealth, you begin to perceive something extraordinary, a sacred order behind everything. What once appeared as chaos or coincidence now reveals itself as precision, guidance, and divine timing. You realize that every delay, every detour, every closed door was not a punishment, but a redirection, a calibration of energy designed to align you with what you were truly asking for. Earl Nightingale taught that the human mind is the most powerful instrument ever created. Yet most people never learn to play it. They allow the world to compose their melody, unaware that they are the conductor. Bob Proctor took this truth further, explaining that thought is energy, and energy is vibration. Therefore, you are constantly broadcasting frequencies into the quantum field. The question is not whether you are manifesting, but what you are manifesting. The moment you understand this, responsibility transforms into empowerment. You no longer ask, "Why is this happening to me?" Instead, you ask, "What vibration within me created this?" That question shifts you from victimhood to mastery. Because now, instead of fighting circumstances, you adjust your frequency. Everything in the universe responds to vibration. Just as a radio station only receives the frequency it is tuned to, your reality only reflects the vibration you emit. You cannot tune to scarcity and expect to hear the music of abundance. You cannot vibrate fear and expect to attract confidence. Every result in your life is an echo of your dominant vibration. The first hidden law, the law of vibration, is the foundation of all others. It teaches that nothing rests, everything moves. When you realize that wealth is simply energy, you begin to see money as a mirror of your internal motion. If you feel constricted, anxious, or doubtful, you block the flow. If you feel inspired, grateful, and expansive, you open the channel. This is why Nightingale and Proctor both emphasized emotional mastery. They knew that emotion is energy in motion, the bridge between the spiritual and physical planes. Emotion gives thought its creative power. Without emotion, a thought is like a seed without water. With emotion, it becomes a living frequency capable of shaping matter. Now, the second hidden law, the law of correspondence, reveals that patterns repeat on all levels of existence. As above, so below. As within, so without. This means that your external world is not random. It is a perfect reflection of your inner pattern. If you wish to change your financial situation, you must alter the inner template from which it is projected. This is where self-image becomes crucial. Bob Proctor's entire philosophy revolved around this. You can never outperform your self-image. The subconscious mind acts like an automatic pilot, always steering you toward what you believe you deserve. If your self-image is rooted in limitation, you will unconsciously sabotage success to remain consistent with that image. The way to reprogram it is through repetition and feeling, the same way it was programmed in the first place. When you repeatedly visualize yourself as abundant, confident, and capable, and feel it as truth, you begin to overwrite the old paradigm. Over time, the subconscious accepts the new identity as reality, and your external world must rearrange itself accordingly. The third hidden law, the law of cause and effect, reminds us that nothing happens by chance. Every action, thought, or emotion sends a ripple through the quantum field, which must eventually return to its source. This law ensures balance, justice, and precision in the universe. When you understand it, you stop fearing outcomes because you know you are the cause behind every effect. Earl Nightingale described it beautifully. We become what we think about. That statement is the essence of cause and effect. What you consistently think and feel becomes your world. So if you wish to attract wealth, you must become a cause of wealth in thought, in emotion, and in vibration. The fourth hidden law, the law of growth, operates silently but powerfully. It states that everything unfolds according to its nature. A seed does not struggle to become a tree. It simply fulfills its inherent pattern. You too have an inherent pattern, the pattern of abundance, joy, and expansion. but you must nurture it with attention, belief, and gratitude. Bob Proctor often said, "Faith and fear both demand you believe in something you cannot see. Which one will you choose?" Growth requires faith, the willingness to trust the unseen until it becomes seen. You cannot harvest the fruit before the seed has matured. Likewise, you cannot manifest abundance before your vibration has ripened into alignment. The fifth hidden law, the law of reciprocity, brings the entire cycle full circle. It states that what you give out must return multiplied. The universe mirrors generosity because giving affirms abundance. Every act of sincere giving sets in motion an invisible current that must find its way back to you. When you give joyfully, you activate this current in its purest form. Notice that these laws are not separate. They are expressions of one unified principle, that consciousness creates reality. They describe the mechanics of divine intelligence operating through you. You are not an observer of the universe. You are a co-creator within it. The challenge is not in learning these truths intellectually, but in embodying them emotionally. You can read about vibration all day, but until you feel it in your heart, it remains theory. Once it becomes embodied, it becomes magnetic. To embody the laws, you must practice awareness. Watch your thoughts like a scientist observes energy. Each thought carries a charge. Ask yourself, does this thought expand me or contract me? Expansion aligns you with abundance. Contraction aligns you with lack. Your awareness is the switch that determines which frequency dominates. Gratitude is the simplest yet most profound way to activate expansion. When you express gratitude, you acknowledge that abundance already exists, and that acknowledgement multiplies it. Earl Nightingale once wrote that gratitude is the attitude that separates dreamers from achievers. Bob Proctor echoed the same, saying, "Gratitude hooks you to the source of supply." In practical terms, start and end each day with gratitude. Not mechanical gratitude, but felt gratitude. The kind that warms your chest and softens your breath. When you practice it long enough, your vibration shifts naturally. You don't have to make abundance happen. You simply allow it. As your vibration stabilizes at a higher frequency, your perception of money changes. You stop seeing it as paper or digits and start sensing it as condensed energy, energy that responds to consciousness. The more you respect it, the more it flows. The more you fear or resent it, the more it withdraws. This realization brings deep humility. You understand that wealth is not conquered, but invited. It's not earned by force, but received by resonance. Every spiritual tradition has echoed this truth in different words. Seek first the kingdom within. Align with the Tao. Be still and know. All point to the same reality. Inner alignment precedes outer manifestation. At this stage, life becomes symphonic. Everything begins to harmonize. You attract people who share your vibration. Ideas come effortlessly. Synchronicities multiply. You begin to feel guided, almost carried by an unseen intelligence that knows your path better than you do. And yet, true mastery lies in detachment. When you stop clinging to outcomes, you allow infinite intelligence to express itself without resistance. You realize that control is an illusion, and that surrender is the highest form of power. Detachment doesn't mean indifference, it means trust. You trust that what belongs to you will find you because you are aligned with it vibrationally. Nightingale used to say, "The opposite of courage in our society is not cowardice, it's conformity." To live by these laws requires courage. The courage to think differently, feel differently, and act from faith instead of fear. Most people conform to lack because it feels safe. But safety is the prison of the soul. The moment you dare to believe in abundance despite appearances, you break the spell of conformity and step into the creative realm. The quantum field responds instantly to courage. Every time you act from belief instead of doubt, you send a signal to the universe that says, "I am ready." and the universe always answers readiness with revelation. Money begins to flow in unexpected ways, not as a reward, but as a reflection. You realize that wealth was never something you had to chase. It was something you had to remember. Now, with this understanding, take a deep breath. Feel the truth of these laws in your body. You are energy. You are vibration. You are consciousness expressing itself through form. The more you remember that, the freer you become. And in that freedom, wealth ceases to be the goal. It becomes the natural consequence of your alignment. You begin to live the message Earl and Bob devoted their lives to teaching, that the mind, when harmonized with spirit, becomes an unstoppable force for good, a magnet for all that is right, beautiful, and abundant. The moment you realize this, everything changes. Life stops being a series of problems to solve and becomes a dance with the infinite. You stop struggling to survive and begin creating to serve. You stop reacting and start radiating. That is the new paradigm, the quantum spiritual reality where wealth, joy, and purpose coexist as one. As you advance into the higher understanding of these quantum spiritual laws, something remarkable begins to unfold, a sense of inner stillness that coexists with immense power. You realize that true wealth is not born in action, but in awareness. Before any material manifestation, there is always a frequency, a vibration, a state of consciousness that precedes it. This awareness becomes your most valuable asset, because once you can consciously control your vibration, you can control your entire destiny. Bob Proctor used to say, if you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. But few people truly understood what he meant. He wasn't speaking of imagination as fantasy. He was referring to imagination as a creative force, the bridge between spirit and matter. The images you hold in your mind are not passive daydreams. They are energetic blueprints that the universe reads as instructions. The clearer and more emotionally charged these blueprints are, the faster reality aligns with them. Earl Nightingale often reminded his listeners that the human mind is the most powerful creative mechanism known to man, yet it comes with no instruction manual. Most people drift through life, reacting to circumstances, unaware that their habitual thoughts are programming their outcomes. But once you learn to direct your mind consciously, you stop drifting and begin navigating. You become a captain, not a passenger. This mastery begins with understanding the law of focus. Though rarely named among the universal laws, it underlies all manifestation. Whatever you consistently give your attention to expands. Focus acts as a magnifying glass, intensifying the frequency you emit. If you focus on lack, you amplify it. If you focus on abundance, you accelerate it. The universe does not interpret your words. It responds to your dominant vibration, which is determined by where your attention rests most often. In the quantum field, attention equals energy. When you focus on something, you literally feed it with your life force. That is why fear is so powerful. It sustains what you don't want. The secret, then, is not to fight fear, but to withdraw attention from it and redirect that energy toward what you desire. Every moment you shift focus, you shift your frequency. And here lies one of the greatest spiritual paradoxes. You must desire without attachment. You must hold your vision with clarity, but release the need to control how or when it arrives. Attachment contracts energy. Faith expands it. When you surrender the how, you allow infinite intelligence to orchestrate the details far better than your limited logic ever could. This is the dance between masculine intention and feminine surrender, between will and faith, thought and trust. When both are balanced, manifestation becomes effortless. Nightingale's logic meets Proctor's vibration. The rational meets the mystical, and the result is harmony, the state in which miracles become natural. At this level of awareness, you begin to notice a pattern. The less you chase, the more you attract. The less you control, the more flows toward you. You stop trying to make things happen and instead allow them to happen. This is not laziness. It is alignment. The current of the universe is already flowing in your favor. Your only task is to remove the resistance created by doubt, fear, and unworthiness. Resistance is simply energy moving against itself, a conflict between what your conscious mind desires and what your subconscious believes. That's why transformation is not about adding new information, but releasing old resistance. The moment your inner conflict dissolves, your external reality aligns effortlessly. One powerful way to dissolve resistance is through forgiveness. Most people associate forgiveness with moral virtue, but energetically, it is liberation. Every grudge, resentment, or regret acts as an energetic knot that blocks the flow of abundance. When you forgive, you untie the knot. You free energy that can now move toward creation instead of stagnation. Forgive others not because they deserve it, but because you deserve freedom. Forgive yourself for the times you operated from fear or ignorance, because guilt lowers vibration. The universe does not hold grudges, only the human ego does. When you release judgment, you rise in frequency, and everything you desire begins to rise toward you. This brings us to another hidden dimension of wealth, worthiness. Earl Nightingale observed that most people unconsciously reject success because they do not feel worthy of it. Bob Proctor spent his entire career teaching people how to raise their self-worth to match their net worth. The two are vibrationally identical. If you believe you are unworthy of abundance, the universe must mirror that belief, not as punishment, but as precision. Worthiness is not earned through achievement. It is recognized through remembrance. You were born worthy because you were born from the infinite source of all creation. To doubt your worth is to doubt the source that created you. Therefore, claiming your worth is an act of spiritual humility, not arrogance. Every time you affirm your worthiness, you realign with your divine nature. You begin to operate from wholeness instead of lack. You stop chasing validation and start radiating value. This shift alone can multiply your prosperity because the universe always mirrors your self-perception. To reinforce this truth, practice the energy of receiving. Most people are comfortable giving, but deeply uncomfortable receiving. They have been conditioned to equate receiving with selfishness. Yet giving and receiving are two sides of the same current. If you block one, you block both. When you allow yourself to receive, whether it's a compliment, a gift, or an opportunity, you affirm to the universe, I am open. I am ready. I am worthy. That openness becomes a magnet for more blessings. Bob Proctor often reminded his students, money goes to people who love it and respect it, not worship it, but respect it as energy. Money is a neutral force. It simply amplifies what already exists within you. If you are generous, money expands your generosity. If you are fearful, money amplifies your fear. The key is to purify your energy before amplification occurs. That purification comes from alignment with purpose. Purpose is not something you find. It is something you remember. It's the unique way your soul is meant to express the infinite intelligence of life. When you operate from purpose, you move from survival to service, and that shift multiplies abundance exponentially. Earl Nightingale defined success as the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. That definition remains timeless because it transcends material metrics. Success is not a destination. It is alignment in motion. Every day you live according to your purpose, you are successful, regardless of external outcomes. And paradoxically, when you stop chasing outcomes and start serving purpose, the outcomes exceed anything you could have imagined. Purpose creates coherence between mind, heart, and spirit. It unifies all aspects of your being into one harmonious frequency. And coherence is what the quantum field responds to. The more aligned your inner world, the more synchronized your outer world becomes. Now, consider the idea of quantum leaps, sudden, dramatic shifts that defy linear logic. Both Nightingale and Proctor taught that transformation does not always happen gradually. Sometimes it happens instantly, when awareness reaches a tipping point. One insight can dissolve years of limitation. One decision can rewrite destiny. These leaps occur when energy surpasses inertia. The subconscious finally accepts the new paradigm as truth, and reality reorganizes itself to reflect that acceptance. To the outside world, it looks miraculous. To you, it feels inevitable. Quantum leaps are proof that the laws of the universe operate beyond time. In the field of infinite potential, everything already exists. The moment you align vibrationally with a new possibility, it must materialize, not in the future, but in the eternal now. Therefore, time is not the deciding factor in manifestation. Alignment is. The speed at which wealth manifests depends on the degree of vibrational coherence between your desire and your belief. The more coherent the two, the faster the outcome. To accelerate alignment, immerse yourself in environments, ideas, and people that match your desired frequency. Your vibration is contagious. Energy transfers through resonance. Surround yourself with abundance thinkers, not scarcity speakers. Feed your mind with truth, not limitation. Earl Nightingale famously said, "You are what you think about most of the time." Bob Proctor added, "You become what you surround yourself with." Together, these truths form the spiritual equation of transformation. Thought plus environment plus repetition equals identity. Change any one of these, and your entire reality shifts. You are never stuck. You are simply stable in a particular frequency. Change the frequency, and you change the form. That realization alone liberates you from fear. You understand that nothing is fixed. Wealth is not a number. It's a vibration. Abundance is not luck. It's alignment. The quantum field is not selective. It's responsive. And so you begin to live differently. You speak with intention. You act from vision. You rest in faith. You move through life with quiet confidence, knowing that every thought is a prayer and every feeling a frequency. You stop rushing because you trust that divine timing is perfect. Each day becomes a meditation, a conversation between you and the infinite. You realize that the universe is not testing you. It is teaching you how to remember your creative power. Every challenge becomes an invitation to expand, every delay a chance to refine your vibration. And soon, you awaken to the most profound truth of all. Abundance was never about money. It was about consciousness. It was never about accumulation, but expansion. The expansion of who you believe yourself to be. When you live from that awareness, you become unstoppable. You move with grace through any circumstance, because you know that nothing external can define you. You are the cause, not the effect. You are the creator, not the creation. And in that realization, life becomes sacred again. And so, we arrive at the final revelation. Not a conclusion, but a remembrance. The 5 hidden quantum spiritual laws were never meant to be learned as new information, but remembered as ancient wisdom buried in your soul. You did not come to this world to struggle endlessly, to chase money like a shadow that always escapes. You came here to realize that abundance is your native frequency, the energy from which you were created. Earl Nightingale said, "We become what we think about," and Bob Proctor expanded it to, "We attract what we are in harmony with." When those two statements merge, they reveal the master key. To think is to vibrate, and to vibrate is to create. Every thought you hold long enough in feeling becomes an energetic command to the universe. Now imagine, just for a moment, the invisible threads connecting you to everything that exists. The same quantum field that responds to the flight of a butterfly, the pulse of a star, and the heartbeat within your chest. This field does not know separation. It only recognizes resonance. And when your inner vibration matches abundance, wealth must appear. It cannot choose otherwise. You have learned that the law of frequency determines the station you receive in life. You have learned that the law of cause and vibration translates your thoughts into physical form. You have remembered that the law of belief and alignment shapes the quality of your reality. You have seen how the law of gratitude and expansion multiplies everything you appreciate. And you have embraced the law of unity and purpose, where giving, serving, and expanding consciousness become the highest form of wealth. Now, understand this deeply. These 5 laws are not separate. They are 5 mirrors reflecting one truth, that consciousness and energy are one. When you think with awareness, feel with purpose, and act in alignment, you invoke all 5 at once. Bob Proctor often said, "The universe is a perfect system, and you are a perfect expression of it." To the conscious mind, this might sound poetic, but to the awakened mind, it is literal. The same intelligence that spins galaxies spins your life circumstances. The same force that grows forests grows your dreams. You are not working for abundance. You are working with it. Earl Nightingale describes success as the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. The word progressive is vital. It means that you don't need to see the entire path. You only need to align your next thought, your next action, your next feeling. The path will illuminate itself with each vibrational step. There is no external gatekeeper deciding who becomes wealthy and who does not. The gatekeeper is internal. It is your own frequency. When you release fear, guilt, and limitation, the gate opens. When you raise your awareness to gratitude, faith, and purpose, the flow begins. This is the final understanding. Money is energy condensed by consciousness. It follows the same rhythm as breath. Inhale and exhale, give and receive. When you hoard, it stagnates. When you share with faith, it multiplies. The wealthiest people in spirit understand that they are not owners, but conduits, channels through which abundance moves freely. Close your eyes now and take a slow breath. Feel the air entering your lungs, expanding your chest, bringing life to every cell. That air, that life, is abundance itself. It does not judge who deserves it. It simply flows. The same law governs every form of wealth. You do not need to earn it. You only need to allow it. Imagine yourself standing in the vast field of potential, where every desire already exists as energy. You stretch your hands outward, not to grasp, but to receive. As you breathe, your vibration rises. As you rise, the things that match your frequency begin to move toward you. You are not chasing. You are attracting. You are not forcing. You are allowing. This is the essence of creation. Thought is the blueprint, emotion is the energy, action is the channel, and faith is the bridge. When these 4 align, manifestation becomes effortless. This is not magic. It is the precise operation of universal law. And now, something extraordinary happens. You begin to notice wealth appearing in unexpected ways. Opportunities, connections, intuitive ideas, doors that were once invisible. The quantum field responds not to struggle, but to certainty. When you know that abundance is inevitable, it must show itself in form. Earl Nightingale once asked, "Why do so few succeed?" The answer is simple: because so few believe they can. The difference between ordinary and extraordinary is not talent, education, or background. It is vibration. It is the unwavering decision to think differently, feel differently, and act from the energy of abundance before the evidence appears. This is how ordinary people attract wealth quickly, not because they are lucky, but because they align themselves with the laws that govern all creation. They stop begging life for change and start commanding it through vibration. You may think of yourself as small, but you are infinite in essence. Within you lives the same intelligence that governs stars, oceans, and galaxies. When you harmonize with that intelligence, when you think in the language of energy, you become unstoppable. Wealth, success, peace, purpose, they are all vibrations of the same source. You cannot seek one and ignore the others. To truly prosper, you must rise in consciousness. You must think thoughts of abundance, feel emotions of love, and act with faith. The rest unfolds automatically. Now, remember the teaching of Proctor. You were born rich. That statement is not a metaphor. It is a description of spiritual fact. Your consciousness is the original currency of the universe. Every dollar that enters your life is simply energy taking form through your awareness. As you finish this journey through the 5 quantum spiritual laws, let this truth settle in your heart. You do not attract what you want, you attract what you are. And when you become one with the vibration of wealth, you will never have to chase money again. It will find you, effortlessly, faithfully, eternally. From this moment forward, see yourself not as a seeker of riches, but as an expression of divine abundance. Speak words that vibrate prosperity. Think thoughts that honor your divine potential. Feel gratitude before the evidence appears. And watch as reality rearranges itself to mirror your new frequency. This is the path Earl Nightingale illuminated with reason, and Bob Proctor expanded with spirit. Together, they left us the map, a blueprint for conscious creation, a fusion of mind and soul that transforms limitation into limitless potential. So now, rise. Step fully into your creative power. Trust the process, for the universe is exact, and it responds precisely to your vibration. As you align your mind with the laws of abundance, your life will mirror that harmony. And one day, you will look back and realize that nothing was ever missing, that everything you desired was already within you, waiting for the moment you remembered who you truly are, a spiritual being, vibrating in harmony with infinite wealth. If this message has touched you, share your realization below. Your words might become the spark that awakens another soul to the truth of abundance.